What we're going to be looking at today is the second of two videos that discusses the new examiner's Sekonic scanner utility. This one is going to be using the form definition that we created in the first video to scan a number of bubble sheets and create appropriate outputs. So what we'll start out with is clicking, obviously I've launched the software, click on the scan sheets. And you notice that this has already been filled out. It remembers it from session to session. But what you would do is, when we come in here for the first time, you'd be asked to pick a form. Here's the one we were working on, demonstration. The second thing we have to do is select the output that the scanner is going to be going to. So in this case, we'd click here, and we have a number of different choices. We can send out a text file, we can send out an Excel spreadsheet, or we can send out an Access database. In our case, we're going to be sending out a text file, so we'll just use that demo output. It's already there, and we can either append to it or overwrite it. Let's just overwrite it. When we're done with that, click on Save. We've got the sheets loaded up in the scanner, and hopefully everything is connected properly. We click on the Scan button. It confirms what's going on. Click OK. Make sure, and away we go. You can see it keeps scanning right there, and it'll keep scanning until it runs out of forms in the feeder. And it looks like that last sheet didn't feed through right. This is the typical error message that you'll get out of here. This is just thrown by the scanner. And you should look, and you'll need to rescan that sheet. Probably had a little crease in it. We'll click on OK. The data are saved. And let's take a look at it. There it is. And there's the data that we've pulled off that bubble sheet. You can see there's the names, IDs, the month, all those items. There we go. So, what about these two other outputs right here, the Access database and the Excel spreadsheet? Let's take a look at those two. We're going to be changing the output file to something else, so we'll try an Excel spreadsheet. We click on the form field, we got our editing, change that to Excel, and we've said we want to create a new worksheet, or we can select one of the sheets that's already there, but let's make a new one, and let's just call it Delta. So we'll save that, and you can see that's changed to that. Scan image, hit the scan button again. And reading our little pile of data through there, we'll just run a bunch of sheets through. And feed hopper's empty. Things have been saved. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. Loads that up. And bring that to correct screen over here. And there's our delta. There's the stuff we scanned. We see we've got one sheet that's got a lot of weird stuff on it. And you know what I think yes, I did indeed. I read in my form definition sheet, and oddly enough, that doesn't scan very well. But the real data looks pretty decent. You can see that each of the alternatives went into a separate field all by itself. The names and IDs and dates and things were all nicely filled out into their fields. So the last thing we're going to look at is our Access database. So we'll move into that, change this over to Access database, browse to that, there it is. Make a new table, You can see we've got one in there, but we'll add a new table, and we'll call that alpha. Save it. There, it's going to the right spot. Then I need to load up some more sheets back into my machine, cleverly leaving out the definition form this time. And let's do a scan. And away we go there. And just chuggles through quite nicely. Feed hopper's empty. There's our data. And let's look at the file. Right there. There's our alpha. And now there's a couple of dummy fields that are created when the thing builds it, so that it's just some bookkeeping information. But there's, so you can see these are the fields that were in our form definition. And what it does, we've named that field item, if you remember, but we said, okay, we want to store this as individual elements. So you see we've got item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way down to 15. There were 15 elements in that first section. Then we had item B, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. So there you go. The data are stored nicely. Close that out there. So outputting data is very simple. The steps we do, first we create that form, edit the form. We come in here, we say, hey, use the form that we've built over here and send it to a text file, a spreadsheet, Access database. Don't forget, you've always got help here on the help button. You can find out the release system right there, release of the system right there. So that's pretty much the Examiner's Sekonic scanning utility. Don't forget to look at both of the videos and read the help, read the manual.